You know what to do. We are back. The boys at Pro Sports Talk. You got myself over here, Mr. George. You got Mr. Ethan over here, the classic folded up bucket hat. And, we got our homie Ed, who's going to be making a guest appearance while already making an appearance. He's breaking records. He's making 2 appearances at once. Before you go ahead and get started, we're going to go ahead and tell you, hit up the Instagram, hit up the Spotify, hit up the YouTube. Get out there, get us out there, and get us that Manscaped sponsorship, and let me quit my night shift job so we can keep bringing you more content because I'll be tired all the time. In today's episode, we're going to cover a few things. We got, WNBA Championship just went through. We got a 17-year-old at the UFC now. Ime Udoka is in hot water. Y'all flaming his ass on Twitter, so we're going to have to see what's up with that. And so we're just going to get stuff kicked off. Starting off with Raul Rosas Jr., man. Youngest UFC contract ever signed at 17. He's 5-0. He beat somebody that's 25 on Dana White's Contender Series. He's proven himself, man. How do we feel about that?
Overall, I think it's a pretty good thing for the UFC. I think he's young. He'll bring youth. His confidence is through the roof. I don't know, good young star to watch coming up here in the next few years.
Yeah, it's the question that you posed and that I've been trying to ponder is whether or not he'll be able to surpass the record that John Jones set as youngest champion.
Yeah, my thoughts on that, I was he's coming in, he'll be 18 starting out. It only took John Jones 6 fights, to get to championship level status, but can Raul Rosas Jr. do that? I don't know. What do you think?
I've been a fan of the UFC for a long time, but I do know that if the UFC believes in you, they're very willing to give you, like they did with John Jones in 6 fights, getting a title fight. They're willing to give you that easy, they'll let you skip a few steps. I imagine he comes in, fights against someone else who's on the rise, see who gets to claim one of those 15, 14, 13 ranking spots.
Yeah.
And then from there, see how it goes. So I feel like if they believe in him, and obviously they do, give him a contract at 17, they'll give him that path he really needs to move up. They've done it. I mean, we see it right now with Kazmat. Khabib got a pretty decent path. They were really sold on Conor, and he got that. Even back to people like Jose Aldo, or people who didn't get the title but still got the name, like Chan Sung Jung. Would I bet on it happening? I think he's jumping into this is the most competitive we've ever seen in the UFC. With stuff like, Leon Edwards' recent upset, people like Alexander Volkanovski going crazy. You never know what's going to happen. So he's jumping into a very competitive UFC where the odds are more even, or at least by appearance of the fights, than they've ever been. No one's necessarily getting absolutely washed anymore. There's not a severe talent gap. I can't wait to see what he's got going on. I feel like he's going to catch some good dubs, and he might find his way to that championship at a young age. Speaking of championships, our WNBA correspondent, the man who knows everything, the man who basically pulls the strings for the organization, to be honest. Our man Gordon, our man Ed, the WNBA championship just passed by. We'd love to hear what you have to say about that.
Yeah, of course. So the Las Vegas Aces took the dub against Connecticut. I think the score was maybe 79-71, or it was in the 70s. It was a pretty tough game, mostly through the first and second quarter, but then the third and fourth, Vegas just started taking over. Connecticut is a blue-collar team that likes to get up and down by getting steals and getting buckets in transition, but the way Las Vegas plays, they're just so crafty and so ball movement oriented. Their offense is very polished in the half court, so you can't really get steals on players that kind of know what they're doing in that half court set. Chelsea Gray plays a huge role in making sure the offense runs smoothly. Kelsey Plum, who just won All-Star Game MVP this past year, and she just came back from an Achilles tear and just kind of like took it and just ran with it in recovery. She did really well in recovery wise, and they have three good playmakers on the court at all times. So it's kind of hard for people to get steals when you have so many great playmakers distributing the ball. I need to rescind my comment on who I think is the best player in the W right now. It's got to be Asia Wilson right now. MVP, Defensive Player of the Year in the same season, and she just got a championship. She's 27 years old, so there's a lot more championships to come with that.
Triple Crown beat.
Shouts out to Becky Hammond as well. First year head coach in the W, got a championship the first year on some Nick Nurse type shit. So congratulations to.
The name is sounds familiar. Wasn't she the woman that was an assistant on the Spurs?
Yeah. And actually, there's a video of Greg Popovich coming to the locker room and telling him how great they play offensively and defensively. And anyone out of his herald are going to be great head coaches.
Those actually crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of his herald, Ime Udoka.
Yeah, Twitter. Okay, so it's funny because like you sent it to me. I think you sent it to me, but I saw it on Twitter before anything. So all it had said was Ime Udoka getting in trouble for sleeping with players, and I was like, what? Huh? And then I realized it was Twitter, and then y'all sent me the actual thing. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, ain't no way. What players? Who did this?
I see something. It was like, he got caught sleeping with Grant Dickens.
Yeah, that was the top comment. It said, I just slept with Grant Williams too. If I was,
I was like, man, no, that can't be real. The news broke today that he was actually having a consensual relationship with a staff member.
Yeah.
At least it was consensual.
That, but I mean, it breaks organization rules, so I mean, they have to do something about it. But I don't think it should be a full year.
Yeah, a year suspension. They suspended him for as long as. Did Robert Sarver only get a year?
I'm not sure exactly what he got.
Yeah, he got a full year, and they're gonna go through like training courses with him or something like that.
What?
So you get a year ban?
Yeah. No, yeah. So the fact that two parties consenting to a relationship warrants the same suspension as being a racist bigot, I kind of have a problem with that. But I mean, yeah, it is against organization rules for some reason. If she's bad, bro.
That's what I'm saying. But like, also Robert Sarver, him and the rest of the upper ranking Suns officials, they're planning on selling the team. That's as of yesterday. News came out that he said that he plans to sell the Suns for whatever. The Suns and the Mercury. Is controversy.
Good, get him out of there.
The Mercury are already going through a lot of things with BG still being locked up in Russia and having to trying to salvage their season with Diana Taurasi out like late in the season. So, I mean, good riddance to him. But Stephen A. Smith did have a quote on the Ime Udoka situation. He said, "There's plenty of white folks out here doing their thing. I don't see information out about them." So what do y'all think about that? That sounds kind of controversial.
Yeah, no. Man, first of all, shout out to Stephen A. for even calling that out. Like, yeah, you said he said there's many white folks doing it and no information about it?
Yeah.
No, yeah. And, I mean, one, I imagine it being very true. But two, it seems like I won't even go as far as to say it's because of Ime Udoka's black. I believe there's a lot of Celtics hate. I believe they're trying to keep us down, right? And I don't like it. But even if, like, like I said, as far as like the racial standard, I mean, yeah, like Robert Sarver only got a year in a class for like being an absolute racist bigot. He was going to be able to come back after a year. Ime Udoka is in a relationship with somebody that clearly sees him as, a person of the same light as he sees her. It's a consensual relationship, and I don't see much of a problem with that. I understand it being against organization rules for some reason. Y'all can't love each other a little bit more than other ways than the other players and stuff. But yeah, as far as what Stephen A. said, because I feel like I just read it a little bit, but uh, he's making a point, and he's right. I mean, it is the first time we've had an issue like that since, like, I think Monte Ellis had a problem with it way back in like 2010 as a player staff. But
Do you think people are more covering this story because he's cheating on Nia Long, or is it more about the relationship that he's having with that the staff?
I definitely think it's the cheating on Nia Long thing. Because, like I said, I imagine Stephen A. being right about staff relationships happening in other organizations. So I feel like if Ime wasn't, in a very publicly known relationship with a very publicly known figure, then this wouldn't have the traction it does. It'd probably have been handled in house, just like, oh, okay, just don't be out in public or whatever. But because of the nature of what's happening, the grand scheme of things, that's what's going to warrant the punishment in the end. Facing a year's suspension and a fine. But
I also think it's more of the fact of the spotlight the Celtics are in. Like, it's the Celtics. They're like one of the best historic NBA teams there are, and like he's the head coach. So I mean, it's a big deal to them, and they hold their organization like very accountable. And I mean, he broke a rule that might not be seen as very significant, but long run, I mean, he did break a rule, and I mean that's got to be seen thoroughly. But I don't know, like a year is just way too much in my opinion. Even at all, I don't think he should really be suspended for something like that. But again, that's being dealt with in house. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what they do, especially with the whole Robert Sarver deal. So
yeah, sometimes I feel like Twitter deals out enough punishment. Because if that man opened up Twitter today, he probably called off both relationships. Because they've been on his ass. And speaking of Twitter being on somebody's ass, how we feel about this whole fake hood Ja Morant like thing going on? People calling him out. People calling him a Papa Dot from 8 Mile. Like,
I really think like people calling him out. I feel like it's a little much. Like, yeah, you're a fan, and yeah, you can like speak on certain things, but like I feel like that just is Ja on the court as much as Ja off the court. Like he brings that mentality to him. I mean, I don't mind it, but again, I mean, he's not actually out here like gangbanging or anything. Like he's just out here promoting himself the way he is. I mean, he's being himself. So I mean, people don't have that right to tell him to just shut up and play. But yeah, that's just no, they don't got any right. But what do you think?
no. See, I've like analyzed it as far as like I'm half black and I've grown up in different levels of. I never been rich, but I've been almost middle class before. So there's like people talk about, oh, he's like grew up in this suburban lifestyle or whatever. So I don't think people think that because of that he can't be a certain way. Whereas I don't think people understand that growing up in a lifestyle like that, you feel very repressed because of the image you feel like you have to represent. Like I have cousins that grew up pretty well off, and as far as mindset, because their parents grew up rough. Some people would describe it as ghetto, and no matter how far they've come in life, they're going to carry those values. Yeah. So you could be in a rich house, live in a mansion, but if you grew up that way, you're not going to be wasteful. You're not going to be like you're not going to take a lot of things for granted. Whereas people who come up like that do, the same thing goes as far as like attitude and portrayal. You're not going to necessarily change who you are too much because you've accomplished a certain lifestyle. And I imagine that's how it went for Ja's parents. So just because the outside picture looked a certain way doesn't mean that inside the house it was a certain mindset. So who knows how exactly hard Ja might be. if we won't put it in terms of what they're calling him out for. Just because he grew up suburban doesn't mean he can't be hood adjacent, as James Davis would explain. So obviously, having basketball, having that suburban life, and going to college, get to the NBA, up until now, where he's an adult, he's got his career set. He's had to be very repressed and hold back a lot. So this could, rather than him being fake hood, this could just be him throwing out who he really is finally.
Yeah.
And I don't think people have thought about it in that light.
Yeah, it's also a thing where, John Morant, the big star coming out of Marquette, or not Marquette.
Murray State.
That's it. Yeah, it was sort of the end. But coming out of there, he had the hype. He has a lot of young fans, and I think people are really just mad. Like, they don't want him out there putting out stuff like that for the youth, especially if that's not how he actually is. Like if they want him to be himself, like, they should say that instead of telling him to just shut up and play, because that's just not how you go about things.
Yeah.
But, yeah, not a fan of the diss talk on John Morant, just because he's a top 10 player in the league right now.
But yeah, it's like as far as like the whole fake hood person, like they say persona or whatever, but he's not out there like advertising, man, I'm gonna go catch me a body today, or throwing up gang signs after every layup or dunk. He's not doing stuff like that. He's just making statements that some people see as hood aggressive or such. And if you feel a certain way about it, then feel that way. You tell him to shut up and play, shut up and keep scrolling.
I think he's valid. I think he's valid.
You think he's valid?
I think he is a night shift worker at Waffle House type valid. Listen,
Hey,
just because he not knocking y'all out, don't mean he can't.
work.
Hey man, you don't get the colored pattern in your dreads if you ain't about that type of action. Listen,
That's true. Some people
We're
think that's
happy
not. That just
that he's
happens
not.
all the time.
yeah, we're happy that he's not doing that stuff off the court. He has an image, like you said, he has an image to uphold. For one, for two, he has a role. He's a role model to many kids, and he's putting on for Memphis. Y'all know Memphis. Most of us, if not all of us, have lived in Tennessee before that are on this podcast, so we know what Memphis is about. You're a great citizen living in Memphis is kind of a hard thing with all the influences. So, man, shouts out to Ja, bro. Twitter has a whole bunch of trolls. Nobody's really gonna press Ja.
Just let Ja breathe. All of y'all typing this talking about some man, he wouldn't act like that toward B. How do you know he wouldn't put you to sleep? How do you know that if you press this man, he wouldn't just leave you snoozing like Patrick when SpongeBob was trying to rummage through his box? I'm like,
Ja
come on.
got that NyQuil on
Look
lock.
at where he's playing. He's playing in Memphis, Afghanistan.
Yeah.
He embodies the energy he gets from his fans. It could be a little bit of him being, representing that for real, or he could be fake hood, or you could just see the type of atmosphere he plays in at home day in and day out. It's just the atmosphere he's in. The people he's around, the people he's playing for, the energy he brings. It just comes through his fans, and then his fans' energy comes back out through him whenever they win a big game or like a playoff series. But yeah, that's all I can say on that. He's just being him. To me, I don't see a problem with it. So the fan out there playing, so they can't really say nothing about what he does on the court.
He can be gritty on somebody's gravesite.
Outside of the realm of the court.
Absolutely.
He's gonna be gritty on somebody's gravesite. Y'all keep playing with him.
I'm saying, and when he gritty next to your gravestone, you ain't
Exactly.
gonna be doing much typing like that, boy.
Them South Carolina people are different, bro. I would leave the Carolinas alone.
Don't mess with Carolina people. Don't mess with Memphis people. Don't mess with New York people. And don't mess with that one specific LA dude who never went to the beach. Why would you live right there next to it and never go? You got some problems. All right. Well, we've got those important talks out the way. It's time to get a little bit loose and stupid with it. Got a couple games. Our first one's gonna be a real simple one. I talked about this headline with y'all yesterday, but We give y'all a little Florida man headline, and we gonna say what athlete we imagine pulling this off. We can stick to NBA, we can go to another sport, but uh, today's headline: Florida man throws an alligator through a drive-through. Who's the athlete you see doing something like that?
You know, I'll change it up. I told y'all something originally yesterday. I said Pat Bev, but I think I'm gonna say something like a Canelo Alvarez or something. Like, that man's just a straight raw. Like, man, he has this feel like he messed somebody. I feel like he just got that on him. I feel like he would, but just random, man. He just throw it. He'd be he'd be like, thanks for my order, man. And he paid with an alligator. That's how much pays.
I appreciate that. You want an alligator?
Yeah.
What's your thought on that, Ed?
I'm gonna have to go with Tristan Thompson because he's been surprising me all year. He has a really thick lower body. I'm not gonna lie, but he's built like one of those. You know those cranberry juices that kind of have like that weird bottle shape that you can find like pharmacies and stuff. It's like the shape is like that. It's like an hourglass.
The Palm Wonderful bottles?
Yeah. It's really wide at the bottom, but kind of like loose, skinny at the top. Yeah, he's built weird, so I would imagine.
He is a funny built dude.
Yeah.
That's the only athlete I've ever seen. Yeah, Tristan Thompson would throw an alligator. If you would change your handedness for no reason and still be a bad shooter, you would throw an alligator.
And you cheat on multiple women and have babies with multiple. Come on, man. Exactly.
I had a different thing yesterday, but I did some research and changed my mind. Champ Bailey, former NFL corner, he would definitely throw an alligator at somebody. So would Josh Norman. I feel like most of the NFL cornerbacks in this league would do it. But if I am gonna lock in an answer, I still gotta say Andre Drummond. I just feel like he would have a pet alligator. He would be sitting in the passenger seat with a seatbelt on, the shades, and they would forget cheese on Andre Drummond's burger, put too much mayonnaise on there. They'd be like, "Shoot, come here, Crop." Yeah. And then he'd go back in there and get his alligator. They'd walk out like a burger at each hand. That just feels like some Andre Drummond stuff to do right there. Right.
He put his mixtape in somebody's sandwiches, his little sandwich meal. He put his mixtape in on God.
Speaking of the rapper mixtape, the NBA mixtapes, we're gonna have you can look forward to this if you're a fan. I'll be putting myself through the torture of listening to all of them and ranking them on the scale to find out who's the best. Even though I feel like since Miles Bridges is apparently really about this, he might already have won. But everyone from Lou Will, Andre Drummond, I'm going to throw some NFL in there. I'm going to listen to Antonio Brown. We're going to find out which one of them really has the best bars, unfortunately. But while we're in the game, all right, I have another one for y'all. I'll just name a celebrity. Random celebrity. They could be a country singer. They could be a duck hunter. Y'all guess what sport they played in high school. I gave y'all some different ones yesterday. Decided to come in and switch it up. Try to get some that are surprising but easy at the same time. So we'll start with country singer Sam Cooke. What sport do you think Sam Cooke played?
First of all, I don't even know who that is, man. I don't listen to country music.
Me neither. Right?
But I'm gonna have to say he was he threw shot put and track. So
that's specific.
It's just random, but he definitely threw shot put.
What do you got for us, Ed?
I was wrong all yesterday, so I'm gonna try to come back. Well, 1-0. I'm gonna say he did lacrosse.
All right. Well, lacrosse is a good guess, but we're at 0-0 still. He was a football quarterback.
Who that is?
Yeah, that's fair. All right. We've seen Duck Dynasty. Know who Phil Robertson is, unfortunately. So, what do you think that the man whose job it is to wake up every day and fool the duck played in high school?
Football.
I already know.
Yo, you said you already know?
I already know.
Well, then y'all both right then, because that's it.
Okay, he played quarterback.
Yeah.
Played quarterback. He ended up going to college. He played at Louisiana Tech, I believe.
Dang. That's more information than I had.
I think he lost. I think he ended up losing the starting battle to Terry Bradshaw,
That's actually hilarious.
if I'm not mistaken.
All right, well, number 3, the local wizard herself, Emma Watson. What do we think Emma Watson played? This was high school and college, I think.
In college?
Yes.
I want to say soccer.
You have your bet on soccer.
Golf.
They're also phenomenal guesses. It was field hockey.
What?
Yeah. Apparently she was damn good at field hockey. I didn't think she could be good at that, but she is.
I didn't know what field hockey was until my sister
I
said it.
just thought that field hockey was on the same level as like dodgeball, aerobic handball, tag. Like it was the stuff you did in class at recess.
Well, see, I thought it, like, you say field hockey, and I thought it was like croquet. You know what croquet is?
Oh, that with like a mallet.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Are you talking about cricket? Are you talking about cricket?
I thought cricket and croquet were the same.
Oh my gosh, man, nah. Cricket is one of the craziest sports I've ever seen.
Whole paddle.
Oh yeah, no, cricket's the one where you can like hit it behind you and jump.
His whole like paddle is like this long, man. It's like huge. I don't get it.
When they throw the ball, they throw it fast too.
Yeah, no, I know what it is now.
Yeah.
I started watching it just to
No, we gotta get good at cricket.
Yeah.
All right, our next one. We'll keep it with the women for here. Avril Lavigne. To me, I feel like I would have guessed this specifically because of the type of person she is. I didn't know this previously, but I just feel like it's halfway obvious, but at the same time, if you don't know anything about her, then you wouldn't get it.
It looks like he gave you an answer, so I'm gonna let him answer first.
Shit. Did she play? Like my mind keeps telling me to say tennis, so I'm gonna say tennis.
Not tennis.
She's definitely a skater. Skateboarder, to be more exact.
You're right about her being a skater, but it was on hockey. It was on the hockey rink.
Oh,
She played hockey too.
What?
But she played actual hockey.
I don't make any sense, man. I was thinking more like a skateboarder because you go skater blues and
Yeah.
banger.
Yeah.
Where did she grow up? Was she Canadian?
I think she was Canadian.
Fuck, why didn't I think hockey? She's Canadian.
Either Canadian
Hockey's
or
like-
border
Hockey's like
Canadian
football.
American.
Hockey's like football in Canada compared to the
Yeah.
US.
Yeah, hockey
Damn.
is a staple. Yeah. All right. One more for the women. This was a surprise to live in hell to me because this is another one where not only did this happen, but apparently they were really good at it. Britney Spears.
Water polo. I don't know. I'm gonna keep on saying that until somebody's finally played water
See,
polo.
now we're just saying anything.
I would like go ahead and say that it's like one of the big like 4 or 5 sports.
Big 4 or 5.
It's just
So she's good as not water polo.
yeah.
I'm gonna say softball. I'm gonna say softball.
All right, you say softball,
Soccer.
basketball, and she had a shot on her apparently.
Man.
Apparently she could shoot. All right, Will Ferrell, our favorite 6'5" elf. What did Will Ferrell play? I think this one is more challenging than any person watching would get credit for, because Will Ferrell has played damn near every sport in movies.
But he's also like 6'5".
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it may be one of
So
those
which-
things that seem easy, so you give an easy answer, and it's not the right answer.
Exactly. Because I didn't think this either.
Shit. He's played a tennis player too, and it looked mad natural when he was playing that role. But he's 6'5". You play with the wrong ball if you playing tennis at 6'5".
Yeah.
Shit. I'm gonna say football. I'm gonna say football.
All right.
Answer's locked
football, I'll say golf. Just because he's 6'5", don't mean he's coordinated. I know a lot of uncoordinated people that are over 6'5", so I'm saying golf.
All right. Wrong. Yeah, soccer. Will Ferrell was a soccer player.
It was just so disgusting.
Do you know what position he played?
I have no idea. It said he played in high school, but I imagine at 6'5", I feel like he should have been a goalie. But
Either goalie or striker. Hold on, let me see.
Bro,
I just don't see it. Like
he was probably like a midfielder or something like that.
Yeah, he's too freaking tall. If he plays midfield, then he got to be fast and smooth. He ain't.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like it would be something random. Like he should be a goalie, probably a striker, infielding, like grounding out corner kicks or something. But he'd do something that somebody wouldn't expect. And forward.
What was the movie he was a soccer coach in?
Kicking and Screaming. But I used to have that on DVD. Side B was Dennis the Menace.
Yeah. He did that. He put in dodgeball.
He did.
Jackie
Moon and semi-pro.
Yeah.
He was a tennis player. He could have sworn he did a football movie, but I think it was popular. I forgot what else. All right, last one. Jason Sudeikis. This is another one where he's even played against pro level competition on his come up. What's your guess?
Chess.
I'll give you another one.
No, I would say like baseball. I think I'll put baseball.
Baseball. All right. Ed, you have a guess for us?
Baseball was a good guess. I'm gonna say I want to go with basketball. I want to say Suggs played basketball.
All right. So the final score 1-0. Ed is won. Jason Sudeikis played basketball. Man, I forgot who he said he played against. Ty Lue. He had played against Tyronn Lue, like coming up. I didn't realize he had that age on him.
Yeah, he old as hell. Yeah. Sud's old as hell. He's like, I kept thinking he was like Ed Holmes. Not Ed Holmes. Ed Helms for a little bit. If I put the two in a room, I'm not gonna know who's who.
That's fair. I was reading up on it yesterday. This Jason had a whole interview about how Jason Sudeikis had like a good play or something. And for the rest of the game, Tyronn Lue was picking him up full. That's hilarious. But all right, y'all know how to go, man. We appreciate y'all being here with us. So yeah, y'all know we love y'all, man. Pray for Ime Udoka, but we're gonna go ahead and jump out of here. But before we do that, make sure that you follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram. Get them reels played. Get that watch time up on YouTube. Get Spotify going. And with that being said, man, peace from me. You got any comments?
Deuces.
Ed.
Drink your water. Drink your water.
Right. Stay hydrated off the H2O, man. But with that being said, man, we love y'all, and we'll catch y'all next time.